it's Nina with Walla Stamping. This is the project I'm going to be sharing with you today. I think it is absolutely so cute. It's just a little bitty basket, and I've made it as basket-like as I can by using craft cardstock. And then I made some little daisies here, and I used one of our doilies to make it look like there's a little hanky or a small little blanket in there. And now I've just filled this with some of the Easter candy that I have on hand. You can put anything in here that you like, but because it is a basket and Easter is right around the corner and I've been having a blast making Easter projects, I just decided to keep going with the flow and make this a little Eastery basket. So let me show you everything that you're going to need to create this project. First of all, you're going to start out with a piece of craft cardstock, and this is cut to 7 by 6 inches. Then for the handle, you'll need another piece of the craft cardstock, and this is cut to 5/8 inches by 8.5. And then I just have a couple of scrap pieces here of Daffodil Delight and Flirty Flamingo, and that's what I'm going to be using to cut out the flowers. For the center of the flowers, I have chosen to use the Jewels Basic Pearls to put in the center of those, and then I am going to do a little bit of sponging on here. If you can tell, the edge of the basket and the flowers have some sponging. So to do that with the basket, I'm going to be using soft suede, and for the flowers I'm using Flirty Flamingo. And then to cut the flowers out, I'm going to be using the succulent framelits, and I'm going to use the 2 smallest flowers. To round the handle on the basket, I'm going to be using my Project Life corner punch, and then you'll need a bone folder, and all of the adhesive in this project is just going to be mini glue dots. So let me get cleaned up and we'll get started. We're going to start out by doing our scoring. So I'm going to put my craft cardstock in with the 7-inch side across the top, and this is going to get scored at 2 inches and at 5 inches, and then let's turn it to the 6-inch side across the top, and you'll score this at 2 and at 4. Now we're going to do some more scoring, but I don't need my Simply Scored to do that with. You're going to use either a pencil or your stylus and do some diagonal scoring. And don't let that scare you off. It's really very simple. Now I prefer to do mine with my stylus, and these lines are just going to be markers because these diagonal cuts you're actually going to cut by hand. So let me show you what your measurements are going to be. So I'm lining this up across the 7-inch side, and I'm going to take the stylus and just put a little mark up here. It's just a little indentation at the 1-inch mark, at the 3.5, and at the 6-inch mark. Then spin it around to the opposite side, and I will show you how to do that with a pencil. So you'll do the same thing, just put a small mark at 1 inch, 3.5, and 6. So since we're on this side, let's just go ahead and do our marking with our pencil. So you have a score line going straight across here. So what you're going to want to do is line your ruler up with your pencil mark and the corner of this score line here and score this way. Then you'll line your ruler back up at the top point, and then right here where all of these score lines intersect, and I'm not sure how well you can see those score lines, but right here where they make a plus sign, you'll line your ruler up there and with your center point, and you're just going to draw a light line. And my pencil definitely needs some sharpening, but I don't have a sharpener with me right now, so I'm just not going to worry about it. So that's what you'll do, and you'll do this all the way across. Just line your ruler up with that center point and with your score line, and then just make your mark, and this is going to be the marks where you cut. Okay, then we're going to flip this around, and this is the way that I prefer to do it. I'm going to find my little indentation that I made with my stylus right here, line my ruler up against that, find the corner point right here where that score line goes, and then I'm just doing the same thing I did with my pencil, but I'm just making little score marks. So you'll repeat this all the way across the top of this side. Got that done. So now what you'll do is just take your scissors and come in here and just cut right on top of those marks that you made. And after you're done, if you have any pencil marks remaining, you can just take your eraser and just erase them away. On the other side, you'll do the same thing. You'll just follow your score lines rather than your pencil lines. So this is totally personal preference. Whichever way feels more comfortable to you. If you want a line that you can visibly see with the pencil, then do it that way. But if you're okay with just following a score mark, then use your stylus. There are a few little pencil marks that I just need to erase right here. Okay, got that done. Now you'll want to do your folding and burnishing with your bone folder. I'm just going to start folding these and then do all of my little triangular sides. Alright, then at this point we will go ahead and do our sponging. So I'm going to grab my soft suede ink, and I have a little Stampin' sponge that I'm going to be using. And what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm just going to go around all of these cut edges, just like this, all the way around every single corner and every single cut edge. Then once I get all of those edges done, I'm going to start folding on all of my score lines and putting color on each side of that score line. So once I get everything colored, this is what the outside will look like. And you can do more color or less color according to your personal preference. So now we're going to grab the glue dots because, like I said, this whole project is stuck together just using glue dots. So this is the way that this will be put together. These two little side pieces will come up and slightly overlap and attach together, and then this outside piece here will come up and attach to those and then tuck to the inside. So I'm going to begin by attaching the two little side pieces here, and I just put a glue dot kind of at the tip of one, bring the other one up, and just attach the tips just like that. So let's do the other side. So we got those together. Now what you'll want to do is use 3 glue dots. One I put right up in the tip top corner there, and then I put 2 more down probably about 3/4 to an inch down the side. So that's where I have those. There's one here, here, and here. Then this will get folded up like this and adhered right there, and then I like to fold this to the inside just like that. So let's do the other side same way. So this is what you'll have once you get done gluing the bottom portion of your basket together. So now we're going to take our handle and our corner punch, and what I do is I slide this paper inside just till it passes that crescent point, and then I look and make sure that either side of my paper I can see those edges, and then I punch, and it gives my handle this rounded appearance. So then we'll just flip it over and do that on the other side. Okay, let me grab my soft suede ink again, because we want to keep this theme going of the rustic look. So I'm going to put ink all around the corners. Okay, so that's all we need to do right there. Then again, grab your glue dots and attach these. Now I like to use a couple, so I'm going to put one right here at the base of my strap, and then one probably about a ½ an inch up. And you'll do that on both sides. Oops, I almost forgot to tell you, before you do that, just take your bone folder and run that between your fingers to go ahead and give this piece of paper somewhat of a curve, and that way it'll already be in the position somewhat that you want it to be in before you attach it to your basket. Then I just turn my basket on its side, and I like my little handle to come down about halfway or so. Press that into place, and then attach the handle on the other side. And so your basket is done. Now you're going to want to grab a doily, and I forgot to get one out. Okay, so these are called delicate white doilies. So let's see here. There's two stuck together right here. So let me get those peeled apart. And you can actually color these doilies. They are white, but if you wanted them to be another color, then you would just use your sponge. I'm just going to do this on the back side. Let me put some scrap paper down. But let me show you how you can color these if you choose to. You would just do your sponge just like you did everything else and change that color. I'm going to leave mine white. For this, that's just the color that I want it to be. So what you'll do with your doily is you're going to cut off about 1/4 of it from the top, just like that. Then I know that this is about my center point, and you're going to fold it kind of like a fan, but you want to create somewhat of a triangular shape in the front. So when you fold those first two folds, just make sure that you're folding it not straight up and down the middle, but somewhat at an angle, okay? Then you're going to fold it back on itself like this. Then keep everything up here tucked in behind that little triangle, but when you fold it, just keep folding it with that angular shape in mind. So let's do the other side. So I'm going to tuck that in right, well, let me straighten this out. Tuck that in right there. So it's folded under. Then I'm going to tuck that right there, keeping it at an angle with my fold. And then this little piece right here gets folded back. So when you have it all folded up, and like I said before, this does not have to be perfect. If you just draped a little towel or something over the side of a basket, it's not going to necessarily look perfect unless you plan for it to and you create it to. So this is kind of what you'll have when you get done folding all of that. And I'm going to grab my glue dots again and use a couple on the back here. So I'm going to put one at the top, and then put another one right about here. It's probably about a ½ inch apart. Then I'm going to lay this right here on the corner of the basket and adhere that down. So isn't that so cute? It looks like you've thrown a little lacy towel or a little handkerchief or something over the corner of that basket. Now what you'll want to do next is prepare your little bouquet of daisies, which you're going to need your smallest and next to smallest flower from the succulent framelits and your Big Shot. I'm going to lay my Daffodil Delight and my Flirty Flamingo down on my platform and cut one of each out. I would definitely recommend that you use your Big Shot die brush to remove the flowers out of these framelits because they like to stick in there. Repeat this process and you'll have 3 of the Daffodil Delight larger flowers and just 2 of the smaller Flirty Flamingo. I do have a kit made up for this project, so if you've been following me for any length of time, you know what to do. You have to hop over to my blog and find this post and leave a comment underneath, and in a couple of weeks I will do a drawing and determine the winner of this project and then get it sent out to that person. I always notify the winner by sending them a personal email, but I always also try to make a post myself in the comment section below the project so that everyone else who has been entered will know that a winner has been drawn. So at this point, this is something that I like to do. You do not have to do this process, but I enjoy it and I like the way the flowers look when I do it, so I'm going to do a little bit of sponging. And for that, I'm using the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to use a little Q-tip, and I'm just going to put some ink all over my Q-tip, rub a little bit of the excess off, and then with a very light hand, I'm just going to come in here and rub that Q-tip around the center of the flower and then up the petals a little bit. I just like how this gives the flower a little bit more dimension to it, so that's why I do it. I'm going to grab my Big Shot die brush sponge and my stylus, and I use the larger tip on my stylus, and I just put that down inside that flower and I just move it around in circles so that my flower will have a cupped appearance to it. And I do that on all of these little flowers, and then I put the little pearl center inside. Now for the larger flowers, I like to use the largest pearls on here. And I don't know what I've done with my tweezers, so I'm going to have to try to trust my fingers to hold these long enough to get them in the center of those flowers. I always end up dropping one, it seems like. Maybe today. Nope, there it goes. I knew it. I was going to drop one before I got them all done. That's just me. Have you ever heard the term butterfingers? Well, I guess that's maybe what I am. Butterfingers. Then I use the little smaller size. Boy, I wish I knew where my tweezers were. They're here somewhere. I just don't know where I put them. So I'm going to use the smaller ones. Heck, I'm just going to grab my scissors and try to do it with those. I think I can do just as well with scissors as my tweezers. Get that put inside. Alright, so my flowers are done and ready to be attached to the basket. And again, glue dots. Tear that excess paper off of there. And I just start arranging them. I look at my basket and determine where I want my flower to go, and then I just start sticking them to the basket with the glue dots. That one's trying to stick to my finger. And I try to keep them relatively close to the edge of the basket so that it will look like they are in a little bunch or bouquet. So now I've gotten all my little flowers adhered to the side of this basket. And then I bought this grass last week sometime, and I should have bought a different color because this is such a bright green, but I wasn't quite sure what projects I was going to be using it with, and as I was looking at all of the colors on the shelf, this green just hopped out at me, so that's why I bought it. So then all you do is just put your grass in there if you want to. You could always leave the grass out and just fill it with some candy or whatever you decide to put in there. Another idea would be, let's say, okay, let me dump this out real quick. Something that would be really cute is if, let's say that you have a little cupcake or some cookies or something like that you want to give to someone. It would be really cute to just put a couple of these doilies down on the inside, maybe just kind of like this, and put your baked item in there with it. Now you need to take a little bit of time and get it to looking pretty, but something maybe like that. And then you could put a cupcake or some cookies or whatever, brownie, candy, homemade candy. During Christmas I made homemade toffee and I sent it to my eldest at college for him to have with some of his friends, because of course, you know, they're teenage boys and they're always watching what they eat, except for when mama sends a treat, then they can't resist. So they got a special treat during Christmas. Or then you can put this grass in it and you can fill it with candy the way that I did this basket. But there is your little basket with a little doily towelette hanging over the side and a bouquet of yellow and orange daisies. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial today, and this is really a very quick, simple, and fun little basket to make, and you could always do it in any color cardstock that you wanted to. And the handle is plenty sturdy enough to hold. I would say that this is probably about 3 to 4 ounces of candy in this basket, and there is no problem with this handle hanging on to that. So remember to go over to the blog, leave a post to win the kit, and if you like what you saw and you're needing any of the supplies, feel free to shop at my online store, which there is a link to below the video. I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. You know I have a goal of reaching 3,000 subscribers by June, and I'm almost halfway there. Thank you everyone who has subscribed to my channel, and to all of you who visit my blog. I am so thankful for you. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter yet, make sure that you do, and you will get an exclusive tutorial that only new subscribers get, as well as I have some really cute tutorials that my newsletter subscribers will get in the March newsletter, which will be coming out at some point during the week, probably Thursday or Friday. That will be ready for you. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.